morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining us from worldwide. I'm Sterling. It's great to have you back on the channel. This show is being recorded for Sunday, December 31st, 2023, New Year's Eve. So the year has gone very, very quickly. I first want to start out by thanking everybody that supported the channel during 2023. Really appreciate the support, all the contributions, donations, all the really great work that went to support the channel, because we can't do it without you. This is very much a team sport all the way around. So the thoughtfulness and a lot of sincere gratitude for my wife, Lynn, and I for all the great support and participants worldwide. Thank you very much in 2023. Also, want to wish a real happy new year to everybody worldwide. Wishing you a very prosperous, wonderful 2024 coming up. These shows, as always, are recorded for entertainment purposes only. All the information I share with you comes directly through my guides, angels, extended spiritual counsel, ETs, famous people from history, so for entertainment purposes only. Also, those need to reach me, just go to sterlingpsychicmedium.com, look for the Book a Session tab. It's all very straightforward from there. This is a special show that we do once a year. This is really the prediction show. And what we try to do here is do a quick recap, if you will, of the 2023 predictions. Those have come true, those that have been pushed, if you will, into 2024. And we go through kind of a fresh set of 2024 predictions. This show is a little bit easier on me than the other types of shows because I really got all this information downloaded prior to this show. I made copious notes, and so I'll be able to kind of go back through all the notes of the things that my team had to share with you. So wonderful to be with you here on this Sunday, New Year's Eve, as I said, December 31st. And what we'll do now is to really start to go through a lot of the things that have gone on. And before I start the show, I really want to spend out also a special thanks and gratitude for Linda Grindle. It's been wonderful working with us this year. Daniel for all the help on the questions with Linda. Hyperledger for doing a wonderful job the entire year and all the wonderful timestamps you see on these shows, as well as Andrew that does the timestamps on the shows that I do with Linda Grindle. So again, collectively, again, I couldn't do this without everybody, and really my sincere thanks and appreciation, and really continuing on into another wonderful 2024. Look forward to working with everybody as well again. So before I jump into the show, I do once a year like to check in with Edgar Cayce. Quick little check-in as I do predictions and just kind of see where he's at, kind of what my team's talking about. And I picked up three kind of significant things from Edgar, so I'm going to share those with you right now before we start going through the whole prediction show. The first thing that I got, Edgar told me, was that right now we're going through a tipping point in worldwide democracy, especially in the US, and other parts around the world always. But this will set the tone now for the next 100 years. So what's happening now is a very, very important time in world history. The second thing he brought up was the significant rising of spiritual consciousness worldwide. And some describe this as the second coming, but this is not a person. So I don't want to confuse it. I know in some of the things he may have described that maybe it was thought to be a person, a second coming. But he's talking about it's really a worldwide increase overall in the spiritual consciousness of the world, which is like a second coming of that energy. And the third thing kind of wanted to mention was that 2024 was going to be feel like a pressure cooker, but stay strong and manage from a place of spirituality, love, have that right kind of perspective. Don't kind of fall into the fear mode. And all of this will be victorious in the end. So we'll have a very good outcome for the world, for everybody in the end. So wonderful checking in with Edgar Cayce. Try to do that at least once a year as I get into the prediction show. So let's shift gears now. Let's just talk a little bit about a quick little recap or review of the 2023 predictions on kind of where they all stand, the ones that came true. The first point, the first prediction from 2023 was that this year would be a tipping point around world peace and some strife and a move towards greater stability or efforts towards greater stability. We obviously saw the Mideast war break out, but in the end, that is going to lead to greater stability in the Middle East. So I think that's what my team was talking about last year. Second thing, more new scientific developments for weight loss pills and diabetic care. So we saw a lot of that happen in 2023 with the new weight loss medications. Next prediction from 2023, China threats to Taiwan. So we're seeing ongoing squabbles and little saber rattling here and there around China and Taiwan that we saw that in 2023. Also, a significant population decreases in China due to the COVID variants. That also took place in 2023. Also, SEC, cryptocurrency guidelines and new exchange audit requirements. We obviously saw the crash of the FTX exchange around cryptocurrency. And so my team was saying that we're going to see more SEC guidelines adopted. And certainly as a result of the FTX debacle, we're seeing that right now in this country and actually around the world. Another prediction from 2023, major banks and Wall Street firms are starting to exchange cryptocurrencies and kind of working that into their long-term business plan. Also in 2023, major hurricanes in southern Florida and the Gulf Coast. Also from 2023, new CRISPR therapies for pancreatic and liver cancer, plus others. So we did see breakthroughs for CRISPR technology around pancreatic cancer, also sickle cell anemia just recently, and several other types of cancers. So we're seeing all that happen. Another prediction from 2023, new assault weapons legislation limiting sales by age and mandating some registration requirements. California started to lead in this area, and there are other states that are following. So that's certainly happening. Another prediction from 2023, new fusion technology breakthroughs and a timeline to commercialize. Now, interestingly enough, the last 3 weeks, we saw a major breakthrough. I think it was up in Northern California. It was at Lawrence Livermore Laboratories. 3 successful experiments for fusion. Now, fusion technology will provide energy. Fusion nuclear energy will provide very clean, ample power for the world. So these breakthroughs are important. It's going to take a while to get it all worked out and commercialized, but we did see the breakthrough in 2023. Also, 45 Mideast escape plans and major health crisis in 2024. Still see this. That was a prediction for 2023 that was made in January, but I still see 45 former president making escape plans to the Middle East, and the world will find out about them towards the end of 2024. Also, there's a health crisis coming up for him here. Another prediction from 2023 that 45 would be served a minimum of a dozen indictments starting in early 2023. I lost count of how many indictments, but I know there's 91 charges overall now. I think we might be getting up closer to a dozen or over a dozen indictments, but across all the indictments, something like 91 charges now. So that came true. The other important prediction from 2023 here, that the pandemic would move from a pandemic to an endemic by the middle of 2023. And we certainly saw that. The pandemic has calmed down for the world. And now we're starting to see we'll get in more of an endemic mode where actually yearly vaccinations for COVID-19. Also, another prediction that 2 auto manufacturers would release new low-cost EVs, electric vehicles. We did see that from 2 different manufacturers. Another prediction that PTSD would be helped widely with virtual reality technologies. We're seeing that used a lot now on military veterans and other types of individuals with PTSD. Another prediction that school security funding would start to roll out worldwide. So in order to kind of guard against some of the mass shooting problems, we would see new security funding entering various places of the world, certainly the US and other areas as well. Another prediction, significant earthquakes around the world, including Chile, Australia, India, Indonesia, California, Russia, and even parts of Hawaii. So that all did come true in 2023. Absolutely. And another prediction from 2023 that came to pass, rare earth element discovery used for all future battery technologies. And in the last number of weeks here, we saw a very large lithium discovery. I think it's around California, Oregon border, or I forget exactly where this is at now. The news press release just came out, but a very large lithium discovery, much larger than they ever anticipated was there, is going to really furnish the technology needed for a lot of EVs. Another prediction from 2023, a new airline mergers of two significant carriers. And we certainly saw that occur in 2023. Energy problems throughout Europe improving by the end of 2023. So I think we're seeing a little bit better energy access around parts of Europe. Another prediction here from 2023, moderate, a slow inflation across the US, Canada, and Europe. And actually, what we saw here was very slow, inflation slowed down, and we did not have a recession. So my team had forecasted a very soft landing, like for the U.S. economy, that there wouldn't be any kind of a recession. So that certainly came true. My team also forecast that housing market starts to ease worldwide by early 2024. So interest rates kind of coming down, starting to get better, easing on world interest rates certainly in the US, and also leading towards a much more robust real estate market, not in 2024, but as we get on to 2025. So, but my team was indicating in the January 2023 predictions that we start to see interest rates and the housing markets, start to ease up. So people could start getting back to purchasing homes. Another prediction here from 2023, tsunami from major earthquakes in the Indian Ocean by late 2023. We saw that. New solar-powered commercial aircraft being successfully tested. 3 aircraft manufacturers have now tested solar-powered commercial aircraft. That's coming. Another prediction here, that Canada continues a gradual conservative shift in their government. So unfortunately, there's some of the same pressures that we're seeing here in the US, Canada is experiencing right now. And last of the 2023 predictions here that came to pass with several assaults on power substations, but massive funding would be put in place for securing substations. So we did see that. Now, here's a couple of 2023 predictions from January that are still ongoing. So it's a bit of a push, still ongoing, kind of got pushed out into 2024. So this is not the start of 2024 predictions yet. We'll get to that later on the show here, but I want to talk about the ones that are kind of still in process. The first one being that Putin's removal from power and eventual death. That's still coming later in 2024. Putin eventually replaced by a military officer for about half a year, and then a moderate leader working better with the West. That's still coming. Eventual end to Ukraine war by spring, summer. Well, it kind of looks like right now that's going to be spring, summer this year, so that's a push. The Pope steps down, still coming up in 2024. Supreme Court, 2 justices replaced, still coming up in 2024. Paul Whelan leaves Russian prison in exchange. That's still coming later in 2024. King Charles planning to step down. Still coming. New child tax credit and Social Security increase. Still coming in 2024. And Apple in talks to purchase a major studio, potentially part of Disney. And I think that's still coming in 2024. So that overall is kind of a recap of the predictions that we did in January of 2023 in terms of how they played out, the ones that we've already seen come true, and now the ones that are still kind of in play getting pushed into 2024. Okay, so with no further ado, let's get going on the new predictions for 2024. First one, 2024 will actually be the year of taking back control of politics and the world worldwide. So a lot of people taking action to restore balance and politics, and really taking back what's important to humanity and democracy. The second one here, prediction, that we're going to be all in around artificial intelligence as applies to science, government, and entertainment. So artificial intelligence will be a very, very important element in 2024 around entertainment, and I'll talk more about that, around the sciences and development, the way it works with CRISPR technology, and even around politics, the way we're going to manage the truthfulness in elections. Third prediction here, The U.S. economy, no crashes, continue to be a soft landing, no recession. So it's reconfirmation 2024. Fourth area here, that there will be a cryptocurrency crash about mid-year and a new exchange develops. So, I don't always like to see these things, but there's a bit of a cryptocurrency crash around mid-year. Another prediction here, the prime rate will see a gradual decrease here in the US, leading to a strong real estate market by early 2025. So this is kind of a reconfirmation of what we were talking about earlier. New artificial intelligence laws that protect artists as well as truth in news. So this is like the portion of artificial intelligence that'll be important to actually determining where fakes are being developed. So AI is so good right now that you actually fake anybody, any actor, any politician, any person you like, and actually create a video that looks like them. But there'll be new laws and new technology that are now going to kind of go deep on determining where the fakes are. So it's almost like using artificial intelligence to cross-check artificial intelligence. That's all coming along with new laws to guard against fakes. Another prediction that the Mideast war and conflict will end within 2024. Looks like it'll be a slowdown almost to an end by the middle of the year. And my team had said that this conflict would be about 1 year long. We're going to get to that point by the time it slows down. And then we'll start moving to a two-state solution. That's going to take another year roughly to try to help get the world that all together. Another prediction for 2024 that the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, his term will end about the third quarter of 2024. So kind of ride out the war, what's happening here, and then actually get to a point where he's actually replaced. Another prediction, the Canadian politics, under Prime Minister Trudeau, that he'll be replaced. So there's some sort of replacement coming up for Prime Minister in Canada. Also in Australia, it looks like the economy stabilizes. I know it's been very, very slow, but looks like it's going to really start to speed up and get into its own. So I feel like Australian economy is going to really start to pick up speed as we get into 2024. It's been rather stagnant. I also see new earthquakes in Australia, a lot of it happening with Indian Ocean activity. And that's actually the next prediction here, is that a number of Mideast earthquakes around the Indian Ocean, tectonic plate shifting. A lot of tectonic plate shifting in the Indian Ocean for some reason. So that will affect that entire region. And for some reason, it affects some sorts of minor, I'll call it minor tsunamis in that region, affecting everything there. Another forecast here, another prediction for 2024 is a moderate escalation in the Mideast war, including Iraq and Iran. But it looks like it gets squelched rather quickly. So there's a little kind of like a little bit of a ramp up and expansion, then it gets squelched quickly. Another prediction here for 2024, that 45 will be the final GOP nominee on the ticket. He'll be listed in the general election, but he will not win the presidency. I still see that the Democrat, Joe Biden, current incumbent, will actually be the winner of the presidential election in 2024. But it's important that it looks like 45 will be the GOP nominee. I know even certain states are trying to take him off the ballot in the primary election, but my team has always seen him on the general election ballot, and looks like he'll fall all the way through. I also see more top secret information leaks from 45's team. So we're going to find out where other parts of top secret information went and who received them. This is all coming up in 2024. I also see a new Speaker of the House, that is Joaquin Jeffries. And that looks like it's going to be more later 2024 to me. So third quarter, end of third quarter, something like that. But it's going to happen before the election. So it looks like Jeffries will actually be a Speaker of the House. Another prediction, that Disney will sell off their linear networks. So Disney's looking for ways to kind of recombine, reconfigure the company for profitability. And it does look like, to me, it looks like a strong proponent of that. Apple is going to be in there somewhere. So it looks like linear networks like ABC are going to get sold off. I still see Apple trying to buy a major studio in 2024 as a carryover from the prediction 2023. Sometimes timing can shift just a little bit here. Um, I do also see new discoveries with the James Webb Telescope breakthroughs proving that there's life on other planets. Very interesting. So, James Webb Telescope is going to be able to perceive some sort of activity that's going to validate life forms on other planets. Also, new weight loss injections and pills coming into the market in a variety of ways. So, you're going to see a big expansion around the weight loss industry for injections and pills. Also, continued new low-cost EV breakthroughs, plus new battery technology that's still coming. Additional fusion energy breakthroughs. And you're actually going to see the first start of some significant cold fusion breakthroughs. They won't be able to sustain the interaction, if you will, the cold fusion reaction, but it looks like there's going to be some breakthroughs here. They're going to start to be very important towards future development of cold fusion energy. Another prediction for 2024 looks like Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell will not be reelected, and significant health problems for each of them. I don't wish anything bad, but there's some big health events coming up for both of them. Another prediction here that Texas will actually turn purple in 2024. So it looks like a real swing for Texas as we get through the 2024 election towards being much less conservative, more democratic. That's all going to happen. I also see Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, replaced in the second quarter of the year. So we know we talked about Jeffries being Speaker of the House towards the end of 2024, but looks like there's going to be another Speaker of the House interim. And it looks like within March, April, May, it looks like Johnson will be replaced. Another prediction, Social Security increases with cost of living will continue. I know a lot of people ask about that. I see that. Another prediction here, and I don't like seeing these things, but I do see a mass shooting taking place in Washington, D.C., Paris, and Ireland, of all places. So I want, be careful. I think a lot of times information comes through as a prediction, so people make sure they're prepared. But looks like there's some mass shootings coming up in those areas of the world. As we talked about, 45 is going to make plans to leave. I do see by the time you get to the end of 2024 that 45 does try to take up a stay in the Middle East. And also, I see Jared Kushner indicted on charges for laundering money. That's also going to come up probably middle of the year, mid 2024. Another prediction here around CRISPR, we'll have actually brand new drugs for Alzheimer's, heart disease, plus 3 new cancers that'll start to go into beta tests. So they won't be available to the masses yet, but the 3 cancers look to me like pancreatic cancer, lung cancer, and breast cancer. So a lot happening around CRISPR. We saw a lot of CRISPR developments. We do try to put up all the developments on the community board under the topic hot off the press when they come up. Another prediction, that UK inflation stays under control. So some stabilization of the UK economy and inflationary conditions looks like it stays under control. Another news about plans to start unification of the EU with the UK. So I know this has been going back and forth, but it does look like they're going to gain some momentum in 2024 at individuals trying to work towards a plan to reunify UK with the EU. Obviously, the opposite is going backwards in terms of Brexit. But it looks like there's something substantive coming up that's going to come out in the public. I also see new NATO countries starting to join Europe. And now Sweden will be joining very, very soon, but it looks like there's a couple of other countries here going to be joining NATO as well. So look for that happening in 2024. I also see Navalny, a prisoner in Russia, survives and is released towards the end of the year, 2024, 2025. Looks like he is able to maintain a degree of health and actually finally gets released towards the end of the year. I also see another new global airline merger coming up in 2024. I think it will surprise a lot of people, but you actually see this new global airline merger. Also see new assault weapons bans in 10 different states. and California is going to be part of them, but you're going to start to see now a real push among certain states to ban assault weapons in certain states. It looks like that's going to start to happen. I also see the protection of mifepristone access in a majority of states. So I don't see mifepristone being completely declined or denied nationwide. It looks like a healthy number of states will actually still allow access to mifepristone. I also see 45 being held accountable and not giving immunity for any of his actions while president. So a lot of the court cases are running around right now, but I don't see 45 being given immunity whatsoever. Also, of the seven, I think there's 7 cases ongoing now, or 7 trials. I do see one of the federal trials. So those 7 trials are a combination of some civil trials, state, federal, but I see at least one of the federal trials coming to a completion before the election. And that could very well be the one that starts in March, the federal case that starts in March there for the insurrection. I also see what I'm going to say is the death of the metaverse. Maybe not everybody knows what the metaverse is, but that was certainly a way that a lot of individuals could experience a virtual reality world and an immersive experience with heavy vision goggles. So for 2024, you're going to see the death or the slowdown of the metaverse until brand new lightweight vision technology or glasses are developed. That's very true. I also see a rise in 2024 in what's called click-through e-commerce. So very shortly, you'll be able to watch your favorite film or certain films. If you see something in that film or movie you like, could be a car, could be a piece of clothing, could be an electronic device, there'll be new technology coming that'll allow you to be able to select that and then move directly into an e-commerce page to be able to purchase it. So we're going to start to see kind of a rise in what I call click-through e-commerce. You're also in 2024 going to see the first release of an AI generated film. Actually, the first fully artificial intelligence generated film. So it won't have any human actors, certainly people behind the scenes writing script and writing content, but it'll see the first full AI. Now, this may look more animated. It's very possible to be animated along with a lot of CGI, but the CGI will replace what's called live action. So I still see my team's telling me it still looks like it's going to be what would be a live action film, but done fully with artificial intelligence. So that's coming up. Looks like 2024. I also in 2024, I see Taylor Swift taking a very strong endorsement to President Biden. And actually, a lot of her fan base will be very influential in supporting President Biden. So this is all coming out. Looks like Taylor Swift will really do an exceptional job at helping to push forward the election and come out endorsement of President Biden. I also see ETs communicating with more and more individuals. You can communicate with ETs the same way you do angels and guides, but I see many more people communicating with extraterrestrials in a way that's going to help humanity and be able to be a conduit for messages. I also see new congressional hearings on extraterrestrials, UAPs, UFOs, several more hearings coming up in 2024. And last but not least here, I see the first of several government contractors coming forward and releasing the technology they've actually received from extraterrestrials and showing what it can do. This will be in avionics, many types of technology, but it looks like the first of a series of government vendors or contractors are going to come through and release some of the technology they've received. So by and large, that completes the prediction show for 2024 with a recap of 2023. I know it was a lot of information, but we'll have timestamps on these shows. You go back and review them. And I'm happy to bring through all this information for you. My team was, very talkative, very aggressive, trying to get all this information out there. I think they tried to cover a lot of areas, worldwide technologies and health and science and a lot of things going on. So hope it was helpful. It's wonderful being with you as always. Again, if you need to reach me, just go to sterlingpsychicmedium.com, look for the Book a Session tab. I'm going to send out a lot of goodwill and tremendous love to you and your families. Happy New Year to everybody. Have a wonderful, prosperous 2024, and we'll see you in 2024. Take care.